Well, it looks like we've got to fix one of Hasbro's mistakes. Again. Good morrow, gang! If you watched my review on the Vintage Collection Jabba the Hutt set, which if you haven't, you should, there will be a link at the end of this video, you'll recall I pointed out that Hasbro had messed up a shading effect that now looked like meat sauce from a YouTube mukbang challenge.
In a manner of speaking, gentlemen, you blew it!
Am I surprised? Well, not really, but it was unfortunate. Luckily, this meat sauce mistake is the worst part of this new Jabba visually, and the rest of the figure is actually pretty good. But what if I told you there is a very easy way to clean up this shameful paint app failure without disturbing the underlying paint?
Not scientifically possible!
Oh yes, gang, it's even easier than you think. For this cleanup, you'll need some isopropyl alcohol, I use 91%, and you'll also require some cotton swabs. The process is rather simple, you see. You dip a swab of cotton in the alcohol and start scrubbing the paint you wish to remove. Now, this usually takes around a half hour or so to fully get the paint up. Are you kidding me? It just falls off! Wow, I am shocked and amazed. It is never that easy. Wait, this thing's not going to explode, is it? Yeah, apparently the paint can be completely scrubbed off in a mere, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. I was anticipating a 10-minute fight minimum, but I was pleasantly surprised. Well, I guess if you really wanted to, you could call it finished here. This already looks way better than before. So, I guess the video's done.
Oh no!
No, the video's not done. You're not getting rid of me that easy. Instead, what if I show you how I fixed the effect to be closer to what I think Hasbro should have given us in the first place? Jabba is a pretty grungy looking critter, so the first step is to try and replicate that a little, which is basically just redoing the effect Hasbro attempted. The difference is, I'm aiming for a combination of a forced shadow to add depth, and a subtle effect to make Mr. the Hutt feel more weathered like in the film. To do this, I use some brown enamel paint, with a brush first dampened with enamel thinner, and start applying it under Jabba's folds. I made sure to take some paint off on a paper towel before applying it to the figure. I built this up slowly since it's supposed to be a shadow, which means less is more. I'm using enamels here because acrylics and I aren't on speaking terms. I'm sure you can achieve this effect with acrylics, but the process will be different than how I do it. There, all done. Oh no, wait, we're not Hasbro. My bad, we've still got a step or two left.
Well, that was offside, wasn't it?
Refining this effect is also really easy. A dry cotton swab will rub off the bulk of the unwanted paint. And if there is still some stubborn paint that needs an eviction notice, a paintbrush dampened with enamel thinner will take care of that. In the latter half of Jabba's scenes, around the time Han is freed from carbonite, there is a pale green goo around Jabba's mouth for the rest of the sequence. Though I was aiming more for the scene where Luke is bartering with him, since I like the effect to be more subtle. To achieve this look, I use a fine tip brush and a pale green enamel paint, and apply tiny amounts at a time around select areas of Jabba's mouth, to replicate the slurm leaking from his face. For those curious, the color used here is Imperial Japanese Light Army Green from Model Master. Now this matches the Luke scene pretty well, I think, but if you were aiming for, say, the sail barge look, I would recommend a darker pale green, but it's entirely up to you. The earlier alcohol step and dry rubbing of the cotton swab has a tendency to polish the plastic and make it shiny, so lastly we'll need to fix that. Some dull coat applied through an airbrush over only the shiny parts will do the trick. And that's it. He's all done now.
It's that easy.
So there you have it, gang. After about an hour and a half worth of work, the effect has gone from this
What the hell is even that?
to this. Now, of course, it's entirely up to you how far you want to go with this. Whether you just take the factory effect off and leave it, or if you want to go even further than I did. Or maybe you're perfectly fine with Jabba as it is and don't want to modify it at all. But I personally think this simple paint modification improves the look of this thing tenfold. Because this is just unacceptable. Now Hasbro, next time, finish the shading effect, please. I don't want to have to do this again. We paid too much for this to have to fix your mistakes. Let me know what your thoughts are, gang, and what your favorite Jabba scene is from Return of the Jedi.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.